Now, I'm a pretty big fan of the original OnePlus Buds Pro, and today we're going to be reviewing the sequel, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2. It's not exactly cheap here in Blighty, costing 179 quid, but it is still more affordable than the Sony and the Bose true wireless earbuds out there. And yet the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 are packed with premium specs and some pretty innovative features as well. Been testing them for absolutely weeks now, so here's my review. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, just like the fresh new OnePlus 11 smartphone, you can grab the Buds Pro 2 in a choice of two different colours. You've got black, otherwise green. And they sport a very similar design to the original earbuds as well. Once again, you've got that AirPod style stem sort of dribbling down from the main body of the bud, although it is quite short, so it doesn't stick out for miles. You once again have a rubbery silicone tip at the end there. 3 different sizes bundled in the box. You can find which ones fit your own particular lug holes as snugly as possible. And with OnePlus's app, these earbuds can even analyze your head orifices to make sure you've got the right size of tip fitted. And I've got to say the fit is pleasantly comfortable as well. Even if you're rocking these things inside of your head for a good 3, 4, 5 hours, I never found I got any ear fatigue unless I was constantly having to pull them out and put them back in again. But there is actually a built-in transparency mode, which is quick and easy to activate, so you don't need to yank them out to actually have a conversation with anyone. And when I found the right size of silicone tips for my particular lug holes, I found that they were super snug in there, no danger of them falling out at any point. And just to prove it, mosh test! And the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 are also IP55 splash resistant, just like the previous generation, so no worries if you get caught in a torrential downpour, it should be absolutely fine. Now, as you'd expect from a pair of true wireless earbuds launching in 2023, you've got Bluetooth 5.3 support, so like most other premium buds, these bad boys can get connected to 2 different devices at once. I've had absolutely no issues with pairing whatsoever, but I did notice that when I was connecting these to my OnePlus 11 before the official launch actually happened, even when I put the buds back inside of their lovely little case, they were still registering as connected to the phone. Must just be some weird early bug. Hopefully that'll be sorted out soon, but I've had absolutely no problems of that ilk when connecting these to any other smartphone. If you are using a OnePlus smartphone, you'll have all of the earbud controls built into the Bluetooth menu, but everyone else will have to download the Hey Melody app. Thankfully available via the Google Play Store, no hassle whatsoever, and this adds a whole bunch of different controls, toggles and features. So for instance, you can quickly and easily check on the battery life remaining on your buds, although not actually the case, unfortunately. In here you can play around with the noise control. You've also got personalised noise cancellation mode, more on all of that in a bit. You've also got an EQ that you can play around with various presets as well as an actual slider. You've also got the likes of Golden Sound and Zen Mode Air, which again I'll touch on in a bit, and the game mode, which is supposed to help with the syncing of the audio and the video, although I didn't really notice this make much of a difference at all because the syncing was perfectly fine without that active. You can also get the old dual connection on the go, so pair up with 2 devices at the same time, and of course do that earbud fit test. Now you can't actually customize the touch controls here on the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, but thankfully they work really well anyway, involving a quick squeeze of either of those stems, so one squeeze will either pause or play your music. You can double squeeze in order to skip forward a track, or triple squeeze in order to skip back a track, and it works the same identically on the left and the right earbuds. You could also long squeeze in order to quickly cycle between the noise cancellation modes and that transparency mode. And while I struggled somewhat with the touch controls on the original OnePlus Buds Pro, thankfully no issues at all with this one. I didn't accidentally activate those controls while just fiddling with the earbuds or anything like that. Only real complaint is that there's no volume controls by stroking the stems, for instance. As for the actual audio quality pumped out by the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, well, no complaints there either. You've got an 11mm woofer as well as a 6mm tweeter packed into each of these dinky earbuds. Support for all the usual codecs, SBC, AAC and LHDC as well if your device supports that. And using the Golden Sound feature of the Hey Melody app, you can actually create a personalised soundscape. What this does is it plays sounds at different pitches, and you just need to adjust the on-screen slider until you can't hear the noise anymore. And then after all that, you'll have your own personal audio profile to boost the areas that you would otherwise struggle to hear. And if you happen to have yourself a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 smartphone with the latest Snapdragon sound shenanigans, well, you'll enjoy a good bit of spatial audio support too. And they seem to work just fine with supported content on the likes of YouTube and Disney Plus. When you move your head, the audio does shift around. It's not the kind of feature I would personally use ever, really, to be honest, but if you want it, it's there. Now you've got 48 decibel noise cancellation support on here as well. If you stick it on the smart ANC mode, well, the noise cancellation can increase or decrease depending on how noisy your environment is. And there's also a personalised ANC option as well, which can apparently adjust it to suit your own particular auditory canals. I've got to admit, personally, I didn't notice any difference between using the non-personalised and the personalised version, and I pretty much just had it ramped up to the max level at all times to block out as much as humanly possible. And while, sure, of course, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 can't match the likes of the Sony and the Bose true wireless earbuds for the noise cancellation, I found they were perfectly good. I rode at the tube up and down, bit of Northern Line, bit of Central Line, all the noisiest buggers I could find. And I found that the noise cancellation generally dampened down that awful screeching sound enough so I could actually hear a podcast. Although sometimes when it got really screechy, I did still have to jack the volume up a bit. And one of my favourite features from the original OnePlus Buds Pro has returned as well, that Zen Mode Air. And what this does is when you're feeling a little bit stressed, you feel like you might just at any moment flip out and go a bit mental, all you need to do is long press one of these stems for around 4 or 5 seconds, and then they will start to pump in nice relaxing sounds straight into your skull to soothe you. Personally, I really like Summer Seashore. That's my favourite because it feels like you're chilling at the beach with a pina colada clutched in your mitts. I'd just recommend not choosing the nighttime camping one if you've seen Friday the 13th or any other murdery, stabby movie that takes place in a forest. And as for the actual microphones built into the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, well, absolutely no issues taking a call even when you're strutting your merry way down a very busy, noisy high street. Now, of course, I'm recording this particular audio sample in a quiet studio. It's not really a very fair test, but give me one sec. Right, I'm now recording this section of the microphone test with my head right next to an enormous Marshall speaker blaring horrifically obnoxious and loud traffic sounds. And yeah, my voice is a bit more muddled, it's a bit harder to pick up on what I'm saying, but these buds are doing a pretty good job of cutting down on the worst of that background sound, so you've got at least a vague chance of hearing me. Now, so far, so pretty familiar. A few little improvements and tweaks here and there, but one area that really has improved here on the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 is the battery life. I find I now get around 6 to 7 hours of full-on streaming on a single charge, and that is with ANC active. You'd probably get an extra hour or two if you did knock noise cancellation off, although I kept it on most of the time to be fair, because as I say, I just like to block out everything because I hate the world. And then if you do need to give them a boost or you're simply done listening, you can chuck them back into the dinky wee OnePlus Buds Pro 2 case. And while this isn't one of the absolute dinkiest true wireless earbud cases that I've tested, it is pleasingly slender, so it does slip quite easily into a pocket. Charges up your buds pretty damn quick. You'll get at least a couple of full recharges out of this thing before it also needs a recharge. You've got a Type-C USB port around back, and the case once again can be charged wirelessly if you've got a Qi standard wireless charging pad. And that right there is my full final frank review of the OnePlus Buds Pro 2. And while they're not a massive leap and a jump evolution over the previous generation, they are a solid all-round package and, you know, pretty good value for money, even if they're not among the most affordable earbuds out there. If you are looking for solid value for money, I'd probably go for the likes of the Soundcore Lifes instead. But yes, I would very happily use these as my everyday buds all of the time. So what do you reckon of the OnePlus Buds 2 Pro, OnePlus Buds Pro 2? God damn, how many times have I got this the wrong way around in this review? I shudder to think. Please do let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Plug, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.